Chase Jones.
Well, I tell you, I just can't believe it's the last week of June. I feel like we were just talking about football earlier. Now it's already wrapping up with tennis, and now we're getting ready to see some of this convection go around the Concho Valley as hurricane season is still going strong. Just not here in the western Atlantic. Everything's pretty quiet right now. I'm always watching the temperatures as they drop from those upper 80s all the way down into those upper 70s. Good run into those lower 90s. Pretty pleasant day, and we're gradually cooling off again as we level out into those 70s, if not those upper 60s. But it's been pretty quiet here in the Concho Valley for the past couple weeks as we continue to see some of this tropical activity go around. But if we break down the atmosphere about what's going down across the entire region, pretty dynamic. 84 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a healthy combination of those mid to lower 80s across the entire area. Now, despite being on the Edwards Plateau, the Panhandle and parts of western Texas are seeing some strong convection, while off towards eastern Texas, some pretty powerful winds are pushing in from the east. 87 in Robert Lee, 84 down there in Junction, 3 degrees across the entire Concho Valley, unless you want to count those cold pockets off towards the east. Now, that's where some of that cooler air is working its way in from. Dew points are still in those 60s, while humidity indices have risen about 10%. So southerly winds are still going strong. We'll continue to see them pick up and die down gradually and continuously throughout the rest of this week. Now, keeping our eye on that blue circulation we were talking about last week and earlier today, that's going to continue to see where those stronger winds are going to make their way. Waves of wind are going to make their way in. It's already Monday, and I'm struggling with it. Now, upper level pattern, this is what we're talking about when we are keeping our eye on the interaction between this high pressure and the upper level pattern. See how strong it's pushing up towards the north? So it's pretty widespread across the entire area. A loose gradient, weak high pressure across the entire southern United States. Now, that's going to continue to pull all this convection along this line. Take a good look at how it's not really moving in across towards the west, but it's moving in across towards the east as well, as if you understand, if you're following that at all. Opposing wind flow is what I'm trying to say as we see this convection just explode across this entire region along the severe weather outlook. Now, just going around the Concho Valley, getting a better idea of the high pressure and how weak it is across the entire area. Now, some high wind alerts, but you're still watching the explosive convectivity really just not fall into the Edwards Plateau, just along down that line, really just going across the Panhandle, while we're still seeing the easterly flow from that high pressure push it off, or at least hold it off from making its way down. Now, we zoom in on the strong convection because we see the circulation trying to form with high pressure and low pressure as it still holds itself off with the San Angelo dome. But the easterly flow is trying to form another circulation and get more organized. So it's pretty dynamic as to why it's not really making its way down into this area. Even when we look at the Futurecast, model data still has it holding off towards the west and around the Panhandle. So we're seeing a lot of moisture just push up towards the northeast. Now, as we see the afternoon heating push in from the southeast, we're going to watch the afternoon heating around Wednesday try to develop some thunderstorms spotty across the entire area. Now, that's usually around these coastal areas, but as that moisture makes its way up and we're in those lower elevations, only about 1,000 feet, you'll see some of that low cloud cover like you did this weekend from Tropical Storm Eric try to make its way in. So it'll look like it's going to rain, but I'll probably just get the forecast wrong. So tonight, all the way down into those lower 70s, I'm keeping an eye on the southerly winds as we make our way down into maybe those upper 60s. And tomorrow, a good run at those lower 90s, still seeing those pockets of clouds all over the place, but we're still practicing hot weather safety and putting on generous amounts of sunscreen as we continue to drink plenty of water. Now, I'm on the countdown towards the 4th of July. You saw the Futurecast. It's pretty quiet around here. I'm just watching some of this convectivity and having my fingers crossed for a little bit of rain shower activity. That's why I'm leaving 10% across the entire for the rest of the week. Now, as we wrap up June and begin July, I'm going to continue to keep our eye on these temperatures as they near the triple-digit mark, but those overnight lows are just locked in those lower 70s. Stay tuned on what break. You're watching KSAN.